Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. As you probably know, the Russians installed a lot of uh, missile systems in Crimea. They also have ships in the Black Sea as well as submarines. They're all armed with missiles, caliber missiles. I uploaded some videos talking about those missiles and their deployment. Then the Russians also have about 5 landing ships in the area. One of them is out of work, damaged or something. It needs some repairs. Not damaged because of the war or anything, but out of service. And now it seems like the shelling of Odessa, because this is for Odessa area in the south eastern part of Ukraine, by the Black Sea, by Moldova, the Romania, those are in the west, north and north and east and west. I'm sorry, and I, I I think that the Russians will not be landing soon in Odessa because there are a lot of mines over there placed by the planted by the Ukrainians, but they will use missiles to soften up the Ukrainian military defending it, or just keep them busy and eventually just leave them alone. I don't know if that's going to be. I don't think they have the intention on doing anything over there, but that's my assessment. Obviously, this article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from today, June 14th, 2022. This is the title. Remember, this is coming from Ukrainian side. Expect uh, whatever the Russians are doing to be minimized as on in their efforts or success, and whatever the Ukrainians are doing should be maximized. That's the same thing in any part. I mean, the Russians do the same thing, the French, the Americans, they all do the same thing when it's about their interest. That's what you do in a war, and not only. So Russian forces fired missiles at Odessa, but they did not reach a target. So they fired, but the Ukrainians said, well, never mind, they didn't reach anything. They're so bad. Anyway, I don't believe that, but nevertheless, I'm just reading what they say because I don't have information from the Russians. Probably the Russians would say, man, we hit everything at every millimeters. This how accurate we were. Well, all right. So it says that on the morning of June 14th, Russian invaders launched missile strikes on Odessa region. Source, Odessa City Council, referring to the official information by Operational Command Pivden South on Telegram, and quote, this morning the enemy once again fired a missile at the Odessa region. 2 Onyx missiles were fired from the coastal missiles complex located on the territory of the temporarily occupied Crimea, end quote. It is reported that the missiles were destroyed over the sea by the air defense unit of Ukraine armed forces. Well, maybe they were just a test. Maybe they were just a test to see how prepared the Ukrainians are, because as you probably know, the Ukrainians they received some, if I remember correctly, some British uh, rocket systems. I think they were right, the Harpoon ones. I don't know exactly what their aim with that was for the ships that might hit anything, or for Ukrainians to hit the ships in the Black Sea. I guess they could be used in both ways as 400s or 500s, but I didn't hear about 500s yet anywhere. Nothing more than S-400s. So nevertheless, the Russians probably are just either testing to see how accurate, how good Ukrainian defense system is over there, and how ready, how accurate, and then probably they're going to up their attacks. And as I said, maybe just to soften or hit certain targets where they know that they are necessary. Command targets, posts, or ammunition depots, Western weapons depots, things like this. But and as I said at the beginning of this video, I don't think the Russians they will do anything in Odessa. But why am I saying that? Odessa is a big city. Why do you want to go over there when you have no intention on conquering it. Because I don't think the Russians have any intention on conquering Odessa. I don't think Odessa is part of their plan. But as I said, I was not there in the room when they made the plan, so I can't tell you for certain. And if I were, I wouldn't tell you. So this is the thing. Nevertheless, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm waiting for those ships in the Black Sea and the submarine to start doing what they do best, which is send their missiles. Because I don't think they're going to use any torpedoes, since the Ukrainians are in here having any submarines in the area doing anything. I mean, it's been, if they had, wouldn't be used already, but I didn't hear of anything like that. All right, well, we find out soon about those things in the Black Sea. This is what I'm waiting for, actually. And this is I started the video, thinking, man, I'm gonna say something about, oh, I hardly can't wait to see when those guys are gonna start the action. And that's so stupid, because actually that's destruction. I mean, it's like, it's not a video game. It's not a, oh, I wonder when the Russians will start killing people in Ukraine. I mean, it's so, and I know people who are like analyzing this in these terms, and I'm thinking how awful it is, because we ignore or we forget. Sometimes we ignore, sometimes we forget, sometimes we remember that actually these are this is a war. These are people who die, their families are wrecked, uh, infrastructure destroyed. How many generations were died to create all that infrastructure, the port of let's say Odessa or Mariupol, and we're sometimes forgetting, and we just get ahead of ourselves, and we just take it as, oh my God, I hope you know um, I want to see when that happens, like a movie. It's so awful. It's so awful, and you can't always be how should I put it, sensitive to this kind of thoughts, because if you're sensitive, you can't even look at them or read about them, and you say, I don't want to hear anything about it. But in order to know, you have to put yourself in that position to say, okay, well, see what's going on, and then you look at it with a cold heart and cold head, and not dead, but just look at the tactics and look at the maneuvers, and you have to look in that manner. Don't put the feelings, don't get them too involved, otherwise you will not be able to look at these things, and internalize them, and then it's going to affect you too greatly to be interested in knowing what's going on over there. And not knowing, then anyone can tell you whatever they want, and you would not be able to figure out, or question and say, okay, is it true? So just take it as what they say, and as we know, they say what they want to say. They twist, turn, ignore, or overemphasize, little exaggerations. It's like a little error, here. Let's say you aim at a point, you aim at something, and let's say this is straight, but then you just one degree, you alter your angle 1 degree, boom, the right, let's say 1 degree, it's gonna, and you shoot, let's say, at 5 meters. If you shoot at 5 meters, 1 degree is gonna increase to, let's say, uh, 10 centimeters. Let's put it 10 centimeters. I'm not gonna calculate now. And then ballistics and angles and physics and all that. But that, if you shoot at 100, is going to increase 1.5 meters, let's say. And then you shoot at 1 mile, is going to be 10 meters, or I'm just saying. So when you exaggerate something in your articles or your reporting, and then you exaggerate here, and then you reach a conclusion that's based on exaggerations, then you exaggerate a little bit more, and then you more. After you did this 5 times, you hit a totally different conclusion from when you started, from the truth, because you allowed this error to grow. It grew here, so you so wide, you basically just pick the conclusion however you want it, because you allowed the error to go from one exaggeration to another exaggeration, and you reach to the fifth exaggeration. You're so far in the fields that you're not even close to whatever happened. So but you still have to pay attention. That's why you have to look at as many sources as possible, and you compare them, contrast them. Pro, con, doesn't matter. Verify, and be skeptical. Be skeptical because they all lie. They all exaggerate. They all minimize because they all have an agenda, more or less. And you have an agenda as well. Try to stay objective as much as you can. But still, at one point, I mean, you have to fight the urge of likes, dislikes, preferences. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.